Hello, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prom Sports World on a Monday, and we're bringing you the crossover on the Monday. I'm with David Huppin right there, Mr. TJ Hopkins. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you come to the right place. We go live basically every single day, bringing you the most up-to-date content, including today's show. We're going to talk about the players with the most improved in 2022-23. We talk a little bit about LeBron, and then we're going to give you guys two GOAT talks. I got one. TJ's got one. So I'm going to do TJ's and he's going to do mine. It's going to be fun. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I will share the StreamYard link to all of the places. So if you want to join us and talk a little NBA basketball, more than welcome to do so. Happy Monday, TJ. How are you, buddy?
All right. A little under the weather, but I'll manage. I'll be all right.
I feel that, man. My voice isn't still like completely back. Like I went to this vanning event, like where everybody has all these fun vans. It's called a truckin', and there was live music, and there was just a bunch of shenanigans. And I actually won Mr. Nightmare, so good for me.
What is that?
I won a crown, so I was like the king of the weekend.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, good for me, right? Yeah, I won that at Nightmare. It was a good time. But yeah, so my voice is still a little worse for wear. So yeah, we're gonna break it down. So let's talk about players with the most improved. So last year, you kind of had the John Morant, Luka Doncic, because they just signed those max extensions. So they kind of had a little bit to prove that they were worth those extensions. There's like players with the most improved. What does that even mean to you? Like if you were if to categorize players with the most improved, what does that mean for you?
Well, to me, just to stick with that notion, like all the players that got max contracts, you have to prove why you're worth that max contract. If you're up for a contract, you have to prove why you deserve that new contract. Right? So on and so forth. That's short, sweet, to the point. That's what it means to me. If you got a max, you got to prove why you're worth that money. And if you're working towards a new contract, you have to prove why you're worth that new contract.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's not only that. I mean, it's players that were drafted early in the draft, and so they kind of have some things to prove. And it's players that kind of like maybe on their last opportunity really in the NBA. Like they're the guys that maybe and also there's other guys that like your team has made a commitment to you by adding pieces around you. So it's up to you to elevate your game and take it to another level. We'll get to the one guy who's kind of the example, I think, of that particular scenario, which is a little bit different than I think like some of the guys who sign big contracts and then have to try to prove that they're worth it. Let's talk about this. So every year there's players who have a new contract. The role is increased, or that something has changed. So let's talk about who has the most improved in 2022-23. Who are your guys? I got what is this? 5?
Go ahead.
5. Well, I mean, the first one I think is the most obvious one. I think it's Zion Williamson, right? I mean, you don't play a game last season, but yet you still get a max rookie extension. That is a lot of pressure to prove that you were worth that contract. As a guy who's played like 50 games since he's been in the NBA through 3 seasons, didn't play a second last season. Only played like 30 games his rookie season. He was pretty solid his sophomore year, his sophomore campaign. But this guy that's played like 80 total games since he's been in the NBA. And so let's see if he's going to be worth this contract. Like there's a lot of pressure on Zion Williamson to prove that he's worth it.
Jalen Brunson. I mean, it's nothing against Jalen Brunson. You didn't hold the gun to the Knicks' head like, hey, give me a max contract, or like, no, you didn't do that. But they thought you were worth $100 million, and now you kind of have to prove to the New York faithful that you're worth $100 million, and it's not off to a good start because it was you, Julius Randle, and Obi Toppin playing in the New York Pro-Am, and you lost by 13 to 9 pros, 9 NBA pros at least, right? Like that's not a good look. It's not
ideal. It's not really what you want to see.
Like you're a team with 3 NBA professionals, and you lost to a team of 9 NBA professionals, right? Like that's not a good look. Of course, staying home with the hometown team, Zach LaVine. You got a lot of people that feel like you weren't worth the max deal that you got. David went as far as to say is a few years down the road, that might be the worst contract in the NBA.
I
right?
will say I have been wrong about stuff before, so
And I don't get how you can say that when literally the guy you just said
I know, I know. It may have been hyperbole, but I also didn't like the DeMar DeRozan signing. Like I ended up eating my words on that. So I've had a track record of players, proving me wrong. So I look to be proved wrong, and yeah, he does have a lot to prove. Like Zach LaVine signed a max contract. He's had some injury concerns throughout his career. So yeah, he has a lot to prove this season. He has to be the best player on the Bulls next year. Like, he can't be DeMar DeRozan again.
And who else got a max deal? DeAndre Ayton. Well, I just feel bad for DeAndre Ayton. Not on the sense that he got a max deal, but on the sense that I feel like he's playing for a team that they only gave him a max contract because another team offered him a max contract.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right?
I'm not sure that debate is even that's for sure. That's exactly what happened. Like DeAndre Ayton signed a max contract somewhere else, and the Suns were like, "Well, if we don't match it, we're going to lose him. So we're just going to match it, like whatever the number happened to be." And we talked about this before. Like if I was DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns forced me to go get a max contract somewhere else and they match it, I would have to get traded.
I would have to get traded. And this always goes back to something I always say, right? Like if that's your guy, right? Like don't play that game of we'll just wait till the off season and we'll sign you then. Like no, because what if you were in a situation where you couldn't re-sign him?
Yeah.
Right? And the Pacers offered him that deal, and it's like, damn, we can't match that. All right, now you want to play a game, and now you lost because now he's gone, and now you're without a big man.
Right? Yeah, I mean that's essentially what happened with Lonzo Ball. I mean the Pelicans thought they were going to end up with Kyle Lowry on their roster, so they basically let Lonzo Ball walk. They ended up not having Kyle Lowry on the team. And that's how they ended up with Devontae Graham, who's a fine player, but he's nothing special.
He's not Lonzo Ball. He don't bring what Lonzo brought to that team, right? And they luckily for them, they gave Zion the deal that they gave him because he was not happy that Lonzo Ball is not on that team anymore. Right? He very much enjoyed playing with Lonzo Ball. Like that was you can't make the face of your franchise unhappy by not keeping the guys that he likes playing with on the team. Do you have a couple more?
I have so I got two more because you took my Jalen Brunson one and then you also took my Zach LaVine one. Both those guys, I think have a lot to, especially Jalen Brunson, because the Knicks are going to probably be in trouble for that signing. So if he doesn't live up to that contract that he signed, and then they end up losing draft picks because of it, that's a lot of pressure on a player to be worth. Like they might lose a first round pick because of this.
Yeah, right. Hey, they got a whole tampering investigation going on right now. So that
is a lot of pressure. Like a lot of pressure. The next guy this is going to sound like kind of a weird one because this guy's already kind of an established multi-time All-Star. It's Trae Young. So Trae Young took this team to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago, and they have made a commitment to this team, this roster, this offseason by trading for DeJounte Murray, trading the house for him. Like this is their push to the middle, was trading for DeJounte Murray, and they think that Trae Young is going to be the centerpiece of a team that's going to go to the title. If he doesn't improve defensively, because he's the worst defender in the NBA, if he doesn't make an effort on that end of the floor, because that's really all it is. It's really all just about playing hard, right? And this is a lot of pressure for Trae Young. Like they can't be a middle of the pack playoff team or like a play-in team next year. Like they push their chips to the middle, and if they're not better than like Charlotte, or if they're not, well, they'll for sure be better than Charlotte. But if they're not better than the Bulls next year, like the Cavaliers. Like that's a lot of pressure.
It is
on Trae Young. Like it is.
It is. It is. Like I like that one. Who else you got?
And then going to La La Land and the Los Angeles Lakers, and no, it's not Russell Westbrook, even though I could have put him on this conversation as well. It's the other guy that's not named LeBron James. It's supposed to be it's Anthony freaking Davis. So Anthony Davis, he does catch a lot of flack, but because Russell Westbrook's on this team, like people it almost like Anthony Davis got a pass for being
Yeah.
detrimental to the team last year.
Yeah.
Basically, not playing and like being injured all the time and like basically stepping on the floor and getting hurt immediately. And then when he was on the floor, he just didn't have the fire that you would expect a guy that's supposed to be the centerpiece to a championship roster and a guy who's supposed to cement LeBron James as the best player on your own team. And he just that never happened. Like he was just going through the motions. Like he was just like, okay, I won a title, my career's good now. Like, okay.
He made the top 75 team, and it's like
over Dwight Howard, who's a first ballot.
Dwight Howard, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah,
like, This is like that's the guy. Russell Westbrook took a lot of bullets for a lot that was wrong with the Lakers, from AD and LeBron not being there to roster construction
bad front office decisions, like giving Taylor Horton Tucker that money that he's on right now looks like a terrible decision. Like,
he's catching flack for Frank Vogel not being there because allegedly Frank Vogel tried to bench him in the fourth, and Russell Westbrook pouted and got his like that. None of that is true. Where'd you hear that, Skip Shannon? Where'd you hear that? Like, because no, that none of that is true. None of that is true. I legit want to know where they heard that. So, but if you want to throw Russell Westbrook out there and say you should be better, I get okay. Yeah, my thing with Westbrook, dude, just shoot better, right? 18, 7, and 7 is actually.
I don't even need him to shoot better. I just need him to make better decisions when he shoots. Like, you're just not a good 3-point shooter, so stop shooting them. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you're not an elite level 3-point shooter, so please don't shoot them. Like, you're a slashing, driving in the basketball, taking it to the rim. That's your game. That's what makes you special. It's not your ability to shoot the threes. I know you can hit them, but his percentage is horrible.
I think that those shoulder injuries he had when he went on that triple double stretch, he bulked up big time so he can handle the punishment of like battling for rebounds. Because you remember, like his mid range pull up used to be one of the best mid range pull ups in the game. Like he's coming at you 100 miles an hour, and then I know where he's pulling up for that free throw line jumper, and it was automatic most of the time. And all of a sudden, like that went away from him because he's focusing on literally trying to do literally everything to make his team better. And that kind of he neglected the shooting. But for me, it's just shoot better because 18, 7, and 7, a lot of players will kill.
It's true.
To average 18, 7, and 7.
And play every game except for like maybe a couple here and there. But yeah, like for real. I got a couple of like lesser ones that I think are, a little bit less as well. I don't know if you have anybody else on your list, but I got a couple of these. So it's Rudy Gobert for one. The Minnesota Timberwolves basically traded the farm for him. Okay, go ahead.
No, so you said Rudy Gobert staying on the same team, Karl Anthony Towns. You cannot, you got that money. It cannot be a question of are you the best player on your team or is it Anthony Edwards? Can't happen.
Yeah, it's true. Rudy Gobert. I mean, all of these guys that had lackluster playoff exits, like Chris Paul. Like the questions of are he still the point guard kind of stuff. Kind of talking a little bit about Damian Lillard. He just signed a crazy extension this offseason. He's the second highest paid player after the guy we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes. But Damian Lillard was injured last year, and they're going to be trying to continue to build around him. And they brought in Jeremy Grant, so they're gonna roll. They're gonna continue to roll it. They're not trading him, so he's just gonna be on that team forever, I guess. And they're kind of stuck with him. Ben Simmons, everybody in Brooklyn. Let's just call everybody in Brooklyn. Like whatever ends up happening, those guys, however it works out, those guys need to be on top of their game because they basically forced their way out. And if all the Steve Nash stuff is just wild,
again, right? If until somebody comes out and say the player themselves come out and say, I want this person gone, I want this person fired, I want this person.
Yeah, fired. I mean, he obviously the rebuttal there because he's not getting traded anywhere. He's gonna be stuck there. So you just be like, I didn't say it. Like it's a felonious report. It never happened. So he's not going anywhere though. He's gonna be stuck there.
He's stuck there
for sure, 100%. You got anybody else?
Mm-mm.
All right. So yeah, those are the players that we think have the most to prove in 2022-23. Leave your prediction. Let's know down in your comment section. Who do you think the players are that have the most to prove in next year? We gave you a bunch of names, so go ahead and rattle off some guys you think. Moving on to LeBron James. 2 years, 2-year contract worth $97.1 million. He's going to be making $46 million this year. I think he'll be making like $60 million next year. The contract includes a player option for 2024-25, which conveniently is exactly when Bronny is going to be eligible, draft eligible in the summer of 2024, where he'll be able to opt out of that contract and re-sign wherever he wants to. This contract has made LeBron the highest paid player in NBA history. How surprised are you, though, that he signed this extension? Let us know down in the comment section what you think. How surprised are you that he signed this extension?
Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all, because it's he's at that stage where like he's mogul. He's mogul LeBron now. Like LA has everything that he needs to be that mogul, right? Like every aspect of every business venture that he wants to possibly pursue, it's in LA. And if it's not in LA, he has the networking to go about and get it. But LA is his base. That's his base. Like that's where he's at. Why? Mostly because his kids, Bronny and Bryce, are in high school.
Yep.
Right. So why would he take an extension or take a contract somewhere else, uproot his 2 sons, and move them wherever he has to go? For what? Everybody's established. Everybody's now established. Everybody's now coming into their own. Right, Bronny and Bryce especially. Bryce just got his first D1 offer. Bryce is 15 now. He just got his first D1 offer. Right. Just leave everybody where they at.
Yeah, I guess I'm just surprised because of the state of the Lakers. Like, I know, like, LeBron's legacy is very important to him. Like, I think he wants to get another title, to tie Kobe. Well, I'm sure wants to get one more than Steph Curry for right now. And I just look at the Lakers, the way they're, like, built, and, like, if it doesn't, like, if I was him, I would have at least waited until free agency this offseason to see, like, what other opportunities were available to him. Because the Lakers are just a mess. Like their front office is a mess. Their ownership group was kind of a mess. Like their superstar players on the roster are a bit of a mess. Like outside of LeBron and Russell Westbrook, like Anthony Davis is like, who knows? Like this team actually got worse. I think this team got worse in the offseason, not better. Like I don't really love Lonnie Walker as a signing. I personally am pretty surprised that he signed an extension without at least tasting free agency at all. But I do get it. Your point's valid. But it's like, this is where I live. This is where I want my family to be. This is where, because LeBron James is going to own a basketball team. His amount of money he's making right now is absurd.
It's absurd.
the dude is cooking. He's just like printing blank checks, man.
And I get it. When you have LeBron James on your team, championship expectation. I'm like, shut up, Shannon. Like, he's been there going on 5 years. He's missed the playoffs twice. He's got bounced in one. And then the only reason he won the other one is because they got a 4-month break in between.
Yeah.
Which tells me if they don't get 4 months off to get healthy, 9 times out of 10, they don't win it that year either.
Probably not. No, I mean he was able to just ramp up. Like all I have to do is ramp up for a couple months. I can do that.
Exactly.
All I gotta do is play out of my mind for. I can do that. That's fine.
I can in a controlled setting, no fans, right? No travel. I go to my hotel. I go to the court we playing at that day, and I go back to my hotel. That's it.
I'm just surprised he signed it. I didn't think he would sign it this offseason because this is like for the Lakers, this is great. Like you get to put out basically a trash product and you still have LeBron no matter what. Like the Lakers are going to stink. Like there's no reason to believe that they're going to all of a sudden be better than they were last year. Like there's no reason to believe that.
Based off of how last year ended, no, it's not. You won 39, 33? No. 39 games. What did you go? 39-42, something like that.
Yeah, I mean they were abysmal. Not even in the play-in. Like,
Not even a play-in, and again, they just blamed one dude. Like, not forget the fact that he wasn't there. Like, he missed time, and we already said what we have to say about AD. The roster construction. I think this year's roster is better than last year's roster in terms of youth and athleticism. Because
I mean, I guess. I mean,
like look at
Thomas Bryant, Lonnie Walker, but none of those. Like, Lonnie Walker's not good, dude. He's just not. Like,
first let's see how he plays in a new setting. Right, like maybe for most young players, that's mostly what they probably need, right? Change.
Okay, sure.
A new setting, right? I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's good, but like let's see how he plays in a non-Popovich style system before we just completely write up. Because for whatever reason, it didn't work in San Antonio.
I mean, he's only 23. I mean, he's got the prototypical size for a guy who's going to be your starting backup point guard, shooting guard. Kendrick Nunn didn't play a game last season. He's still on the team. Exactly.
Kendrick Nunn didn't play I ain't never seen a bone bruise.
Yeah, right. Cost you a season, yeah.
Cost you a season.
And they're probably kicking themselves that they passed up on Jaden Hardy, how he looked in the summer league.
All right, you still got Austin Reeves. I know he don't want to go by AR-15 no more, so we gotta find a new nickname for Austin Reeves. Although AR-15 was kind of a sick nickname, but
it's the same thing that Anthony Richardson's going through at Florida.
Yeah. Like for sensitive reasons, they don't want to be associated with that. And
I don't blame him.
I don't blame that. I don't blame it. No, I respect that. You still got who else?
I mean, looking at their roster now, I mean, Carmelo Anthony's still technically on this team. They got DJ Augustine. I think these guys are all off contract. So they got Troy Brown Jr., who they signed this offseason, who's fine.
Former Bull.
Yeah, former Bull. They got Wayne Ellison's gone too. They got Wayne Gabriel, the kid from Kentucky. I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce that first name. I just winged it. Stanley Johnson they signed on this team. Damian Jones is on this team. He's a center.
Well,
they got Scottie Pippen Jr., who they picked up as an undrafted free agent.
Who should probably make the opening night roster, keeping it 100. Like if anything, Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to be a two-way player.
Yeah,
for sure. He's gonna be a two-way player for sure.
And Juan Casano Anderson's on this team too. They signed him in free agency. Who's fine.
Athletic defender. The one thing they desperately needed last year was wing defense. Juan Toscano Anderson definitely provides that for them. Damian Jones, interestingly enough, should have never been off the team. Like, he played with them a while back, like 3 years ago, and it was like, why did you get rid of him?
Yeah, he bounced around the league for a little bit after that. Actually, he never played. So, yeah, he was in the Lakers at 2021. He played in, like, a bunch of cities, like in 2021, and Sacramento a few times. But, yeah, I'm just not sold on this Laker roster. I think if I was LeBron, and I think I would have maybe even slightly considered, like, maybe going somewhere else in the offseason. But your point is valid where, he's got his kids, he's got his life there, and he's building a empire that is centered around Los Angeles.
The question is, though, where? Like, where do you go? Like, what team?
I mean, the going back to the Cleveland thing was awfully interesting when it first was reported and stuff.
But what team is okay? So Cleveland, like, do I have to basically clean house for 2 years of LeBron James at
they could sign him. They could have signed. They're going to have enough cap room next offseason to sign him outright. Kevin Love's money comes off the books next offseason. They have a bunch of their players are still on their rookie deals. Darius Garland's extension doesn't kick until the season after that. Evan Mobley's on a rookie deal. Okoro's on a rookie deal. Like they straight up could just have signed LeBron outright in the offseason, next offseason.
Well, somebody got to go, right? I'm being real. Like, you got all these players on rookie deals, but somebody would have to go. Who it is, I don't know, but somebody would have to go.
I mean, Isaac Okoro, like Lauri Markkanen, and all those guys would probably no longer be on the team if they got LeBron.
Karis LeVert, maybe. I don't know. Somebody would have to go. right?
Oh, yeah, there wouldn't be enough mouths to feed to keep all those guys on your roster at the same time.
Exactly.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, they could have signed him outright, but how do you keep it? Like somebody got to go.
I'm just surprised that he signed this extension. I thought he'd at least go into free agency, at least test the waters at other places. But I guess we'll see. I mean, LeBron James kind of does his own thing. He's building an empire. He's going to own whatever that team goes to Vegas. He's going to own it. So just letting you know.
Or back to Seattle.
No, because he said in an interview that he wants to own that Vegas team.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I gotta find that interview.
Yeah. So if a team goes to Vegas, he said he wants to be the one that owns it. Moving on to GOAT Talk. All right, this is my first one. TJ, you want to explain the premise real quick, and then I'm going to do mine.
All right, so we take two players who didn't get enough shine as when they were playing, and we compare their careers towards each other. It's never Kobe, Mike, LeBron, Kobe and LeBron. Like we just do those conversations. Like those conversations are done to death. And there's nothing that can be said that can change anyone's argument. And quite frankly, I just don't like them anymore because they're just not fun. They're not as fun as they used to be. We try to keep it same position as close as possible.
Oh, I got one that's real close to it. This is
so like what I mean by that is we try to guards. We try to compare the other guards, swing man to swing man, big to big, so on and so forth. Unless you like, it's kind of getting harder because the more we do this, the more you find players who are quote unquote positionless. Yeah. David, since this is your first one, you have the honors of going first.
All right, yeah. So we got so this player was drafted in 1999. I am not going to tell you where he was drafted. It will give it away. So he scored 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He played on 5 teams: Sixers, Hawks, Mavericks, Bulls, Clippers. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's an All-NBA second team 1 year. He was the College Player of the Year in college, the year he was in college. The other guy was drafted in 2003. He was a second-round pick. His average are 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. He played on the Lakers, Bulls, Jazz, Cavaliers. He's a 2-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA third team. He is an NCAA champion.
So both
of these guys are retired.
Player 1 was 99. Sixers, Bulls. Who else?
Sixers, Bulls. All right, Sixers, Bulls, Hawks, 76ers, Mavericks.
So that's not Elton Brand because Elton Brand played for the Clippers. When you said 99, Elton Brand immediately went in my head, and it's not him because Elton Brand spent time on the Clippers and he did not play for the Hawks at all.
You sure about that?
I'm sure. No, because you didn't say the Clippers, and Elton Brand played for the Clippers.
I did say the Clippers.
So it's player 1, Elton Brand?
It is Elton Brand. Elton Brand is player 1. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2-time All-Star. He's the current GM. Was it GM of the Sixers? Yeah.
Yes.
General manager of the Philadelphia 76ers. Player 1 is Elton Brand. He also was a 2-time All-Star in 2002 and 2006. All-NBA second team 2006. He was the co-rookie of the year in 2000. I don't remember who he was the co-player with, but he was the college basketball player of the year in 1999.
I think so. It was Jake Kidd.
Yeah, maybe. But do you know who the other guy is?
All right, read player 2 again.
Player 2, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Lakers, Bulls, Jazz, Cavaliers, 2-time All-Star, All-NBA third team. He was an NCAA champion.
This is 2003?
He was drafted in 2003. These two guys actually went to the same college.
Okay, so he went to Duke. Who got drafted out of Duke in 2003? That class, just give me the number he was picked at.
35.
Second round pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played his high school basketball in Alaska.
Oh, that's Boozer.
Yes,
That's the only one. That's the only one.
So the player B is Carlos Boozer. So he was a two-time All-Star in 2007 and 2008. He was an All-NBA third team in 2008, All-NBA All-Rookie second team 2003, NCAA champion in 2001. He was a McDonald's All-American in 1999.
So you got Carlos Boozer and Elton Brand. Whoa.
Yeah. And their career numbers are like eerily very
Similar.
Yeah, like Elton Brand scored he scored 15.9 points per game, like basically 16 points per game, and Elton Brand 16 points a game. Like their numbers are very, very close.
I gotta go with Boozer because I think his peak was higher than Elton Brand's peak. Like Utah Carlos Boozer was a monster.
It was.
Utah Carlos Boozer was a walk-in 20-10. And that was on the low end. Like Utah Carlos Boozer was a monster. He just kept running into dudes like Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant year in and year, and a couple of Phoenix teams year in and year out. So I'm gonna go Carlos Boozer.
I probably agree with you. I think Carlos Boozer is probably my choice as well. But yeah, that one's pretty close. It was hard to pick between. I was trying to put I started with Rudy Gay versus Michael Finley, and then I looked at their numbers. I was like, and I ended up going with two Bulls power forwards. One of them only played for 2 years. The other one played there for 4 years. I'm going Carlos Boozer too, but it's close, real close. Go ahead, TJ.
All right, so my first player was also drafted in 2001, 13th overall. Played from 2001
hold on. 2001, 13th overall. Okay.
Played from 01 to 2018. Played 17 years. All right.
Okay.
Played for the Nuggets, the Mavs, the Cavs, the Jazz, the Warriors, Spurs, Bucks, and Nets.
Jeez.
Won the chip, one-time champion, all rookie teams, all NBA all rookie second team in 2002, McDonald's All-American in 98, 14,904 points, that career points, 4,720 rebounds, 2,412 assists, numbers 12.6 a game, that's 13, 4 rebounds a game, and 2 assists per game. He was also a member of the 2004 Athens Olympic team that took bronze. So he was on that disappointing Olympic team.
Okay.
He also happens to be one of your favorite players.
Huh. No, it's I don't know who this is.
He's a small forward.
Nuggets, Mavericks, Cavaliers, Bucks, Nets, Warriors.
Nets, Bucks, Spurs, Warriors, Jazz, Mavs, Cavs. Nuggets.
Is it Richard the Jefferson?
It is Richard Jefferson.
All right. All right. Let me get number 2.
Player 2 was a second-round draft pick in 97. 42nd overall. Played from 97 to 2014. Was also a small forward, but could play 2 guard depending on the team.
You said 97 to 14?
97 to 2014, yes.
Oh, holy, wow, that's quite the career.
That is a pretty decent career, yes.
17 years? Is that the math is? Yeah, the math is. Yeah, wow, all right. Who do you play for?
Nets, Spurs, Hawks, Pacers, Warriors. Ready for this one? Bobcats, Bucks, Spurs again, and he closed his career out with the Clippers. Was an NBA champion, Parade All-American, and a McDonald's All-American. His numbers: 12,976, 15 points a game, 3,328, 4 rebounds a game, 2,634 which is 3 assists a game. So these numbers are 15, 3, and 3.
Okay.
And it
Is,
says not.
is this Gerald Wallace?
It is not Gerald Wallace. It says 97, but he didn't come over to the NBA until the year 2000. But he is an American-born player. He just started off overseas.
All right. So who do you win the ring with? Spurs, probably. They're like, It's gotta be. Second round pick in '97. How many years did he play for the Spurs? What?
Just those two.
So he basically played a season every.
But he like his first stint was 2001 to 2003, and then he came back in 2012 and 13. Just those years.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna need another hint for this one.
He was on a Pacer team that was involved in the Malice in the Palace.
Okay, it's not Jermaine O'Neal.
It is not Jermaine O'Neal. No. It's
not Ron Artest.
It is not Ron Artest.
It's Steven Jackson.
It is Steven Jackson.
Okay. Oh, that was a good hint. That was excellent. All right, so Steven Jackson versus Richard Jeff Jefferson. That's tough. That's real tough. I think I would. I want to say because I think because I felt like Steven Jackson could have been better than he was, and I feel like Richard Jefferson at least capitalized on his talent. So I'll go Richard Jefferson, but that's pretty close. It's like splitting hairs.
Well, I'm gonna go Steven Jackson because you already know how it is. Like once a certain narrative about you was spun,
yeah, it's true.
It's kind of hard to shake that narrative. And don't get me wrong, Steven Jackson played on some really good teams.
Yeah, I mean that Warriors team, the team that beat the Mavs in one of the first times an 18 beat a 1.
The We Believe team, like he was he was on like the last stretch of Indiana teams that were contending in the East, like those last Reggie Miller years, right? With Larry Brown, not Larry because Larry Brown was coaching Detroit at that by that time. But those Indiana teams where they were battling with Detroit. All right, he was on that Spurs team that won the championship. So, if you can handle Greg Popovich coaching, you can play anywhere.
It's true.
Seriously. True. And I'm trying to. So statistically, his best year, points wise, he was in Charlotte. He averaged 21, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. His career high in assists is 6.5. He averaged that on Golden State. He also played 40 minutes a game.
Those Bobcat teams, it was like him and Jared Wallace, were the only good players even on it.
But that 2008-09 Golden State team, he only played in 59 games. He played 40 minutes a game, averaged 21, 6.5, and 5. Right, Richard Jefferson's best year was.
It's probably one of those Nets seasons where
it is definitely I'm looking. It was 2007, 2008 in New Jersey. Played all 82. He played 30. He played 39 minutes a game.
I mean, the season 04-05 was pretty good. I don't know. That one's real close. I think it's like splitting hairs there. He's a very good analyst now.
That 04-05, bro, he averaged 41 minutes a game. Like he wasn't getting no rest.
Yeah, no. Yeah. He only played 33 games that season. I think that might have been the lockout shortened season, but or no, I don't know why he only played 33 games that season.
Yeah, I don't know either because that wasn't a lockout year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. But yeah, that's been Go Talk. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, that was fun. I'm gonna start putting those together too because I like picking the players was like half the fun. Like it was a very good time.
Now you see what I go through. It's like, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna work.
We're gonna be jumping back into our NFL content tomorrow. So don't want to miss that stuff. We're gonna be breaking down some preseason week 2. Some of the stuff that with some storylines that we noticed that was going on in the NFL. So if you like that content, continue checking it out. I'm David Huppin. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And TJ, what we do here at the Prom, my friend?
We bring the heat, and happy first day of school to all the kids out there. A lot of kids had their first day of school. Happy birthday to my niece Aubrey. She's 11 today. I'm getting old, David.
No, old. You're not the only one, brother.
And happy opening weekend for college football. This Saturday, it is on and popping. I know one game for sure that's happening this Saturday. It might not be on a lot of people's TVs, but it's gonna be on mine because I'm just happy college football is back. That's U of I and Wyoming. It's probably going to be super early in the morning, but that's what it is. I don't care. It's college football, and it matters. I'm watching.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. You can enjoy that content. We're going to be doing some NFL content over the next few days, so you want to miss that content. I'm David Huppin. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins, and we will see you guys tomorrow. You guys stay safe and stay healthy and stay classy. Peace out, guys.
I'll let you.
Peace out.